Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. I am in my dressing gown and I know that I said this winter I was going to try and find alternatives or avoid wearing my dressing gown when I'm in the house over my clothes. However, we should I say, had a pretty rough night and I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Avery was getting better. She was doing so much better all the way up until yesterday evening, and then she started to cough again and splutter. It was quite difficult to get her down to sleep last night, but she eventually did, and then all through the night I was up with her alarm. Avery slept through most of it aside from the coughing, but if it wasn't the coughing setting off her monitor, then it was her actual saturations. She did struggle to keep her oxygen up last night. It wasn't so low to the point where I felt like, you know, we needed to take action straight away and get her into the hospital. But it did kind of keep dropping so that it was setting off her alarm. She was then sick this morning, really thick mucousy sick. She's just been sick again right after her feed. And as you can tell, as you can hear, she's not doing so great. And I don't know what's, I don't know, like seriously, when will it end? I've sent an email to her paediatrician. I'm hoping she'll pick that up today. We didn't have her sputum results back from last week, so I don't actually know if this was viral or bacterial. If it was bacterial, I would imagine someone would have got in touch with me by now. But it's like someone flipped a switch. 1 minute she was getting better and then she's back to where she was a week ago. She did have a nebulizer this morning. She had the 7% as well. This doesn't seem like a cold now. Like the last illness, it seemed like a cold. This came on very, very quickly. It's more of a cough than it is a cold. She's not really snotty or anything. She's just, well, just kind of like this. She isn't running a fever. Or she doesn't feel like she does anyway. I will check with the thermometer just in case. I am pretty certain she's not feverish. She's just coughing. It's like she's just got mucus sat on her insides that wants to come out. The only way she seems to be able to get it all out is with being sick. But she's literally just been sick about 5 minutes ago and she's still coughing like this. So gonna have to keep an eye on it over the next couple of days. I'm really hoping it's just a fluke and it will just go away. Hopefully the paediatrician gets back to me. If she doesn't get back to me by Friday, I will probably either call one of Avery's nurses or take her back to the doctors. Not that the doctors will be able to do anything. It sounds so angry with it as well. It doesn't sound overly chesty, like she's not overly rattly this time, but there must be something coming from her chest because of the amount of mucus she's bringing up. But yeah, that is where we are at today. I'm not doing good. We didn't get much sleep. Well, Avery did. I didn't get much sleep, so I'm tired. So long story short, that is why I'm giving myself some grace and snuggling up in my dressing gown today. So she's just had her second feed, not that she kept much of it down. Plans for the rest of the day is just going to be to take it easy, I suppose. I will probably, since I'm most likely going to be sat here with Avery anyway, it's making you angry, isn't it? Hey? Probably going to sit and get started on this care plan that I want to write for my sister-in-law for when we're away. Because I feel like I'd like to give myself a decent amount of time to do that so that I can make sure I'm not missing anything from it. I would like to try and get Avery in her standard today, even if she is coughing like this. It does sound as though she's got something in there that she's really struggling to cough up, so maybe being in her standard might help a little bit. I don't know. I'll give it a go, and if I feel like she's not coping, I'll just take her out. Other than that, it's just the usual dishes, prepping dinner for tonight, that kind of thing. I just want to go to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I am so tired. I'm kind of at a loss now. Like, like, surely this child deserves to be well, just for a little bit. We are having chicken baguettes for dinner. Bit of a weird thing for dinner. It's more of a lunch food, I feel, but it's a nice easy one. And I cooked a whole chicken yesterday, made a curry with half of it, and then saved the rest for today. And we usually have it with crisps. Today we are having them with Bugles, which arguably one of the best crisps ever. These and those little party crisps, like the party mixes you can get, the sour cream and chive ones. Those are really, really good as well. So just waiting for the baguettes to cook, and I'll prep all of them, and that is dinner done pretty much. So no cooking for me tonight, which will be really nice. I've managed to make a good dent at this care plan. I feel like my brain's kind of gone into a bit of a fog now though, so I can't really think of what else to put on it, so I'm sure I'll think of more things, but I've left it for now. So I am filming on my phone because my camera is out in the kitchen, and we are quite comfy here, aren't we, Pudding? We're just laying on the sofa because Avery is quite poorly today. She got a little bit on the warm side last night, so we gave her some paracetamol, ibuprofen. We have noticed that she's been twitching a little bit, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. So just keeping a very close eye on her today. She's already had some paracetamol. You've had a little snooze, haven't you, Pudding? I'm not too sure if she's going to snooze again, to be honest. She doesn't seem quite ready to be awake yet. She's had a nebulizer. I've contacted her epilepsy nurse to let her know what's going on. So just keeping a close eye on her. Her temperature was, I think, 37.9. So kind of on the cusp of being a fever. But we're just going to snuggle, aren't we, Puds? Hey? Snuggle you better. She's just a bit sleepy. I think she just wants to chill. So just cuddles today. It's a little bit later on now. We are just about to go and get the boys from school, aren't we, Pudding? Avery's definitely perked up a little bit. After I last spoke with you guys, her temperature actually continued to rise. It went up to 38.2, but she had some ibuprofen with her last feed, and she tolerated the entire feed as well. Since then her temperature has come down a bit. She's much cooler, and she's just a little bit more perky in herself. Not too sure what this illness is. We did get the sputum sample results back that she had last week, and the only thing she tested positive for was rhinovirus. So the last one she had was just a cold, which we figured as much. This time it's probably just a cold again, to be honest, but it's just affecting her a little bit differently this time. But we have just had a very, very relaxed day. We have had lots and lots of cuddles, haven't we? And since I wasn't really moving, I decided to carry on with the care plan that I'm trying to make for my sister-in-law for when we go away. So that is pretty much done now. I just need to find an online service that I can print paperwork, because we don't have a printer. Either that, or I'm pretty sure the library would have one. I spoke to Avery's epilepsy nurse about the twitches and what's going on. Avery's neurologist is on training this week, so she can't contact him, but she's going to next week about possibly having a break of medication like clobazam for times like now when she's having these twitches and she's spiking fevers, and we're just a little bit worried that she might still have a seizure. She could still go up in temperature again tonight and, you know, end up in hospital for all we know. So what she suggested was increasing her topiramate, because that she did have the authority to do, because the neurologist had already given her the go-ahead for that. But especially at the moment, and this I haven't told you guys, by the way, apparently there is a national shortage of liquid topiramate. There have been a few children that apparently have been sick because they've had to miss doses. No pharmacies have it. All of the suppliers are struggling to get hold of it. It is a manufacturer problem apparently. So what we've got as backup is tablet form topiramate, but we've been told by the pharmacist it might not be that easy to dissolve in water because it's coated. So we have to chuck our topiramate tomorrow because it's been open too long. Let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed it still works okay and she gets the dose she needs. But not 100% sure if we're going to put the topiramate up anyway. Definitely not at the moment. We're going to have to wait till next week to see what your neurologist says, aren't we? She is now officially weaned off Keppra though, so that's good. Don't think the Keppra wean's got anything to do with the twitches. I think that is just because she is unwell. You guys, I'm a mess. Why am I a mess? Because I'm functioning on about 3.5 hours sleep. Last night was unexpected, but then also not unexpected. So Avery was getting better. Her cold was on its way out by the seems of it. Seems I'm delirious. Let's see if I can get through talking to you guys without falling to sleep. So the last day I spoke to you, Avery was a bit poorly. I think she was spiking temperatures that day, and we'd spent most of the day having cuddles. The day before that she was vomiting everything, and then after I spoke to you her fever went away and she seemed to be okay in herself, so we thought we were over the peak. Other than the fact that she was having these twitches, now they were the same kind of almost like myoclonic jerk type twitches that she was having a few months ago, back when we gave her the clobazam as a breaker medication and started the topiramate. So we knew the twitches. We knew that the last time she was having these twitches she had a seizure shortly after, so we almost knew that we kind of weren't out of the woods and to be expecting something, so much so that we had our go bag on the floor in the bedroom here ready to go just in case she fitted in the night. So got to Friday evening, Avery seemed fine. I was feeding her. Josh and I were kind of watching TV as I was feeding her. Avery fell asleep while I was feeding her, and I noticed that her left hand, just her left hand, started to twitch. And I'll show you a video of what it looked like. And if Avery was any other child, I would have thought she was dreaming. So I watched it. And, you know, I checked all of her other limbs. I checked her other hand and her feet, and no other twitches. So I thought, well, maybe she is just dreaming. She's just fallen to sleep. And it got to maybe the minute mark, and I just said, right, okay, it's not stopping. I'm going to try and wake her up. So I tried to wake her up. Josh tried to wake her up, and she wasn't responding. And at that point, we kind of figured, okay, this is a seizure. So we did our usual kind of protocol. Josh called 999. I started the stopwatch on my phone and we put her in the recovery position. At this point then it turned into a full-on seizure. All of her limbs started to twitch. So it was undoubtedly a seizure. Amidst all of this, Josh did put Avery's SATs monitor on her foot, and her SATs did drop quite low. I think they went down to around 70, which is quite low for oxygen. 5 minutes passed, we administered Avery's rescue med, which she kept down, and shortly after that the seizure did stop, and then the paramedics arrived. So they did all of their usual checks. Her temperature was fine. They called PDOBs, and PDOBs wanted us to take her in, so that's what we did. We went by ambulance, Avery and I, to the hospital, and again, usual thing happened, all the normal questions, they checked her over, and Josh arrived shortly after. He had his dad come and stay with the boys so that he could come up to hospital. And Avery fell asleep again, and within about 10 minutes she started to have another seizure. So we pulled the emergency cord in the little bay we were in. Obviously all the doctors and nurses came flooding. This seizure only lasted about 3 or 4 minutes. It didn't need a rescue to stop, but the fact that she had 2 seizures in one night was a little bit concerning, because that's not happened before. Well, it has happened, it's happened once. The first time she had big seizures, and that was March of last year, and I think I did make a video on that at the time. So that was a little bit scary. Still no fever, and it was just really strange that she seemed to be getting better and then she had the seizure. So they admitted Avery for the night then. Her oxygen was on the lower side, and you know, she'd had 2 seizures, she's had to have a rescue med. They wanted to run some tests on her, so this is where the night got tiring. They wanted to put a cannula in as normal, and Avery did kind of wake up shortly after her kind of post-ictal stage, so she went quite sleepy after her seizure, and then she woke up, and at that point I tried to keep her awake until after they put the cannula in, because I didn't want her to get woken up by a needle. It wouldn't have been nice. I thought she could just go to sleep after. Josh went home so that his dad could go home, and it got to around 1:30, and that was the time they actually put the cannula in Avery's foot. So we didn't actually get into our kind of own room to rest until about 2 o'clock, and then I get woken up by a doctor at 3:30 saying that they want to do another test. They want to do a blood culture, and they needed to do another blood test, another needle to do it. Now her just coming in, and I guess just the movement and the noise had woken Avery up. I just said to the doctor, look, if you go sticking her with needles now, she is not going to go back to sleep tonight, and then that means she's running off an hour-and-a-half sleep. That is going to be absolutely no good for her. Please just give her a bit more time. I think she was quite eager to get it done ASAP, so I just said, look, let her sleep until 6 and then do it. It was still on her shift, so she agreed to do that. So by the time we got back to sleep, it was about 4 o'clock, and then the doctor woke me up at 6 again. So oh, so tired. Avery is probably just as tired. We are home now, thank goodness. Her SATs kind of stabilised throughout the day. The doctor was happy for her to come home. Now the kicker of all this is when Avery started having these twitches over the last few days, I've been in touch with her epilepsy nurse, and I had asked to get some more clobazam because it worked last time. Hopefully it would work this time. However, she did not have the authority to do that without the neurologist say so, and Avery's neurologist was in a conference last week, so we couldn't get in touch with him, so we couldn't get the breaker med. This could have been avoided. There should have been a different channel to go through to get hold of that medication. It could have been avoided. We're very lucky that Avery didn't go into status this time, but you know, the seizure did go beyond 5 minutes, so you know, still not ideal. So yeah, that was a bit annoying, but the doctor today has managed to get in touch with the neurologist, and they are going to prescribe Avery with the clobazam for situations like this. They are also in discussions about potentially increasing her topiramate. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at. We are waiting for the culture to come back. Avery has been discharged with the cannula in her foot because they want her on IV antibiotics until this culture comes back, just in case it comes back with any bacteria. Once it comes back, if there's no bacteria and it is just viral, they can take the cannula out. If it comes back as bacterial, they're going to want to continue with the course of antibiotics. So Avery has a cannula in her foot, bless her. But she's in good spirits. It is Saturday, luckily, so we are all home, and glad for it too, because I'm so tired. I really just want to jump in the shower. I feel like a mess. Let me look at my skin. Look at my skin. I'm just like, I'm breaking out. I feel awful. I feel like I look awful. I'm just not doing okay today, guys. Really not. I'm sure I'll feel better after a bit of rest. Josh is working tomorrow again. He's doing overtime, and I need to take Avery to hospital at about 9 o'clock in the morning to get her next dose of IV antibiotics. So me and the boys will go to hospital for that. I'm going to try and avoid changeover time so that we're not there too long. I know I'll be fine. I'll be fine with the boys. And yeah, then we will come home. I am just so tired. Morning, guys. It is the next day. I am feeling a little bit fresher today after some sleep. Not that I may look it. And actually it's a little bit annoying because Avery started coughing and she kicked off her sensor at about 4 in the morning. If it wasn't for that, I probably could have got a solid 8 hours, but either way, I'm feeling a little bit better. Up, I'd like to say bright and early, but it's definitely not bright. It's still dark outside. Up early because we need to go to hospital to take Avery to have her next lot of IV antibiotics. I'm hoping at some point today her culture results will come back and we find out if we need to keep going with this or not. Avery's actually still asleep, so quick update. She was still twitching yesterday. We noticed about 4 or 5 of those little kind of myoclonic twitches, and when we went to pick up the clobazam from the hospital, the doctor said it was our discretion. If we felt as though, you know, she wasn't out of the woods yet, use it now. If not, wait until she has the next episode of twitching. Because she was still twitching, we have decided to start her on the clobazam course. It's just a 3-day course. We know it will make her a bit drowsy, but it doesn't interfere with any of her meds or the IV antibiotics, and we don't want to risk her having another seizure. I would have thought the twitches might have gone away if, you know, all of that kind of built up seizure activity was kind of out of her brain. So we're giving her that short course. So she is still asleep, which isn't surprising with that medication. I do need to wake her up pretty soon though, because I need to feed her before we go. So I am just gonna finish getting ready while she is sleeping before I need to wake her up. I need to replace the refill in my deodorant because I've used up this one. I can't remember which one this one that I was using. It was one of the winter scents, but Wild have actually sent me 3 new scents, and I think these are their new seasonal scents. So we have Purple Rain. That is really lovely, like a really nice feminine scent. And then we have Sage and Eucalyptus. That's definitely a fresher scent. That is really, really lovely. And then we have Linen and Lilac. That's really lovely too. Ooh, I think I'm going to go for Linen and Lilac. It's a bit softer. So to replace the refill, you just wind it all the way down to the bottom until it stops turning. There's 2 little buttons on either side. You just push those buttons in and the bottom will just come out. So that's my old refill. Just take that one off, pop the new one on, and then the top can go back on. And there we go. It is good to use. So I've been using Wild now for a good few months now. I can't remember how long, but it's definitely been quite a while. I do have an ongoing partnership with Wild. They do send me all of these products for free. However, this video is not sponsored. I have not been paid to talk about them, but I genuinely do notice a difference with the smell. So I feel like I need to reapply deodorant a lot less when I use this. I can use it once in the morning and I'm still smelling pretty fresh by the end of the day, which really, as a busy mom, is exactly what I need. I don't need to worry about smelling like BO in the middle of the day and having to kind of wash my armpits and then reapply deodorant. And it also just feels nice that in a product that works for me, I'm also being kinder to the planet. There is no single-use plastic in these. They're refillable. The refills are compostable, so better for the planet and also better for your skin as well because it's made with natural ingredients. So thank you again so much to Wild for sending me these new refills. I will very much enjoy them. I do have a discount code with Wild if you wanted to check them out. It's Mummy and Avery, and it gives you 20% off, so I will leave that down below, and also my affiliate link if you did want to give them a go. If you're still using you know, regular shop bought deodorants, I'd definitely say give Wild a go. Better for the planet, better for your skin. So I am just going to carry on getting ready. I bought this jumper from Primark just after Christmas with my gift card that Josh got me for Christmas. It's now 20 to 8, so I'd better start waking Avery up really, because I still need to feed her. I am going to take the car. I have all 3 boys with me, and you know, even though the boys, I can't hold them responsible, but I know that if I sit Marley next to Avery, he'll do a pretty good job at keeping her distracted, which is nice. And also the roads that lead to the hospital, there should be plenty of places for me to pull over if needs be, and I just want to get there and get back. The last time we were doing IV antibiotics, we took her in for a second round at changeover time, which was a terrible idea, and we ended up being there for about 6 hours. By the time the nurses actually got round to us, they realised that the cannula they put in her hand had bent. It was no longer working. We had to switch to injectable antibiotics. It was a big faff. The IV is in her foot at the moment, so they tend to last a bit longer in her foot. So I'm hoping that it will be a quick in and out trip. Oh my god, look at the state of my hairbrush. There is so much hair in that. I really need to clean it. I lose so much hair, it is ridiculous. I've actually started in the last few months, I've got quite a bit of regrowth in the front here, and I lost quite a bit of hair, and it's all kind of growing in now, and it's really annoying. But I had a shower last night and I washed my hair, and I'm definitely feeling a little bit fresher and more like myself today. Just hoping Avery is on the up now. I definitely need to have a really good chat with her neurologist about all of this, because it just feels like we've been a little bit out of touch. She's not had an appointment with him since the summertime, and we weaned off the Keppra now. She's had a few more seizures. I think a lot has happened since then where we need an appointment with him to kind of hash a few things out. So yeah, I'm gonna go and wake Madam up, and we're gonna head to the hospital. Oh, bless her. Even with the light on, she is still fast asleep. Can you hear her snoring? So I'm just gonna turn off her SATs monitor. Her SATs have actually been looking pretty good, which is great. And here's her little cannula in her foot. Doesn't seem to be bothering her too much, luckily. Oh, are we stirring? Are we waking up? Nope. Maybe? Nope. Still out for the count. Right, I need to get this little madam up. Maybe I can lift her into her pea pod while she's still sleeping. So I've managed to get her out of bed, change her nappy, and put her in her pea pod and start feeding her, and she's still asleep. That med must really be knocking her out. I kind of need her to wake up though, because I've got to get her dressed, and it wouldn't be nice waking up getting dressed, would it? Anyway, I am gonna close this vlog out here, I think. Definitely took a bit of a turn. I was planning on vlogging, doing a bit of baking with the boys today, but in all honesty, I'm not sure if I'm going to end up doing that today, just with how the weekend's gone. Marley's here this weekend anyway, so the boys are super occupied. I'm not too sure if they want to take time away from playing together to come and bake with me, sadly. But either way, I will still end up doing some baking. I just might leave it until in the week, but I will include that in the next vlog. So thank you for spending a bit of time with us, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.